Awesome. Well, happy Wednesday. We are so excited that you're here for our girls' night and happy hour. Tonight is just it's just a super chill treat. It's something that we love to do, is have these chats once a month where we just get to get around each other, get around the community and kind of swap stories. My name is Brittany Frost. I've been a part of Beachbody for 9 years. And the most, like, if you survey our team of coaches, if you survey the people who are part of our Beachbody community, the number one thing they're going to tell you that they love the most is the community. And so we love to bring people in who maybe the person, maybe whoever invited you in tonight, maybe you've already been in the challenge group community before. Maybe you're already doing a program and you're part of the bod groups and you're crushing it. And they're like, wow, like, I just think you want to be a part of the next level of this community. Or maybe somebody invited you on because they just see like coaching qualities in you. We love others. We cheer each other on. We champion each other. We cheerlead for each other, right? It's just a big stinking sisterhood. But maybe the person that invited you sees some of those qualities in you of the love and the service that we do as coaches. We're going to talk about what coaching is not. We're going to fill you in on what coaching really is and how simple it actually is, because I know that word coach can sometimes come with a lot of weight to it. Like, I don't know how to coach anybody, but we hope that after you get off tonight's call that you just feel like this is a space that I think I want to be a part of. We like to think about it like a fire, and like our sisterhood is just kind of like getting around the fire. And we hope that by the end of tonight's call, you're like, yeah, I think that's a fire I want to sit around. Who you surround yourself with is everything. You become like the people you surround yourself with. And I attest who I am today by the fact that I have women who love working on their self-care, women who value goal setting and moving the needle forward in life, and value their faith and value their overall health and their relationships. That's why I'm the woman I am, because I choose to surround myself with other women like that. So we're excited that you're here. In the chat, really quick, if you are, whoever you are, what are you drinking, Brittany? Thank you, Holly. First of all, everybody in the chat should answer Holly's question and tell us what you're drinking. But I made myself a little mocktail tonight so that I don't slur my words. And Trader Joe's has this like jalapeno limeade. It's really good. And so I did a little bit of that. And then I just did some kombucha. And then I topped it off with a little lime sparkling. So I made like a little mocktail. Yeah, I love it. Okay, tell us in the chat what you're sipping on tonight. Hey, Carlene, we're so excited you're here. I know we all got the water. Come on now. I love y'all. You guys are my tribe, sipping on the good stuff. Okay, awesome. Also in the chat, tell us, like, I see like we've got some newer coaches on here who've recently joined and started, and you guys are going to be like awesome people in this call tonight, because whether you're on live, like Carlene's on live tonight with us, or we do have some friends catching the recording, I think sometimes that leap can feel really scary, because you can see like where your coach is at, or where the person that you follow on social media, where they're at in their journey. And sometimes I feel like how do I connect those dots? And I hope that like Holly and Jen, as newer coaches who've recently taken the jump and joined the team and started learning the things, can maybe offer you a breath of fresh air tonight too. So ladies, I'd love if you also offer insight in the chat. So in the chat, tell us what you're drinking, and also tell us like what program are you doing right now? Are you in the Beachbody community already? And yeah, let's all connect in that chat. So I'm going to kick off and introduce myself and tell you a little bit about my story. And then I'm going to pass the mic to the gals who are co-hosting with me, Kristen and Ashley, who are near and dear to my heart. I could not imagine building this team and being a part of Beachbody and on my journey without them. So I'm just so grateful for them. And I'm excited that you guys get to hear their stories tonight. So a little bit about me. 9 years ago, 9 years ago, I decided to press play on this program that many of you may know called Insanity. And I was not on social media. I did not want to be on social media. I was a school teacher at the time, and I was very private in that regard. And I had the DVDs of Insanity. I bought them on Amazon, you guys. I didn't even know Beachbody and like this community existed. I didn't know there were challenge groups. I didn't know there were coaches. I knew nothing. All I knew is I had a friend that did Insanity and got really great results. And so I decided that I was going to follow suit and I was going to do Insanity. So about 9 years ago in the summer, because, teachers, you get your summers off, I decided this is the summer. I'm going to press play for 90 days and I'm going to get my results with Insanity. So I did it. And at the end of the summer, you know, it's like when you buy a new car and you start to look around and like, you realize like, oh my God, everybody has a Kia Soul now. And you're like, no, everybody didn't. Those cars were already there. You just now are more in tune with it and aware of it because you now have that same car. Well, it was the same thing with Insanity. I started seeing people all over social media talking about Insanity because I was doing Insanity, and I started to notice other people who were also doing it. And I had one friend in particular who I was silently stalking for motivation because she was kind of doing it at the same time as me, except she was doing it as like a postpartum program after she had her baby. And I was just like so inspired by her, and she had no idea, but she was keeping me accountable from afar, even though I never commented on her posts. I never said anything. I just watched her silently in the background. And then one day she came on social media on Facebook, and I was a teacher at the time, and I got home from work, and I'll never forget, I was scrolling social media, just kind of like trying to zone out from the day. And she had a video on Facebook talking about becoming a coach. And at the time I was like this broken teacher, like just like totally not doing well in my life. It didn't feel like it anyway. I felt like I couldn't get ahead. And I'd sit around my classroom at the end of the day and I'd look around and I'd think, is this it? Like, I swear I was made for more than the life I'm living right now. And I loved teaching. I loved my students, but the school system and what I was a part of, it just felt crippling for me. And it wasn't what I envisioned for my life. I felt stuck. And so when I saw her post this video, I thought, wow, this would be a really great way for me to make more money so that I could pay for things that I can't pay for with my teaching salary. And so I reached out and I was like, okay, where do I sign on the dotted line? I was like your dream person because I was like, I don't even need to, I had one question. My only question for her was, do I have to host parties? Like, because my mom always had Tupperware parties growing up and like Mary Kay parties and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, I get MLM, I get network marketing. Do I have to have parties? And she's like, no, we do everything online. And I was like, where do I swipe my card? And so I swiped my credit card. I bought a challenge pack that came with T25 DVDs and Greenberry Shakeology, which is discontinued. And the rest is history. It's been 9 years of growth, of learning, of falling down, getting back up, of building this amazing community. And my life looks completely different today than if you had met me 9 years ago. So I hope that a little piece of my story maybe rang true for you, but that's just the gist. That's like the iceberg, like tip of the iceberg of how I got started and whatnot. But I want Kristen to take it away now and share just a little bit about how she got started as a coach.
Yeah, thanks, Britt. Hey, ladies. I'm just so excited that y'all are here. I love when we get to share some of our stories and like hope that it inspires you. So for me, I joined this team almost 5 years ago. I think it's gonna be 5 years in October. And Brittany and I still laugh about this, but I joined for the exact reason that I like love it these days, the exact opposite. I was like, just give me your workouts and give me the supplements. Like they look like you love them. Like I'm sure I'll love them too. Like, but you can just like keep your community. I don't need that. I was always somebody that navigated towards like the guy friend groups. I was like, I don't jive with the women. Like I don't need that drama. Right. So I was like, no, thanks. And as I was starting on my journey, I got FOMO with like a big program launch that was coming. And Ashley and I were actually in New York at the same time on a travel nurse assignment. We're both nurses. And I was like, please come do this with me. And so we did. And I like went all in on that. And I fell in love with this community. I was like, how can I meet these women? Like, I don't even know you, but I want to meet you. And so I just like really took every opportunity that I could to be closer around the fire. And I looked at, you know, like our summit event that's coming up and how could I get there? Because I saw them the first year and it was like, I didn't really know about it or chose not to, whichever it was, but I missed out on that. And I was like, I'm going to that next year. And so it was the very thing that I didn't think I needed in order to be successful on my journey is now the exact thing that keeps me going every day. And that's this community and showing up with these ladies, knowing that somebody is always going to be there to, whether it's cheer me on or support me if I'm having a bad day. And I'm there to do the same for them. And I found this at a rough time in my life. I was a broken woman going through a divorce. And by the time I had reached out to Britt, I was like on the mend, but just newly on the mend from that. And so I had still a lot of like confidence issues to work through and just feeling worthy and able to like have a successful life. So it was tying that in with a busy nurse life, and we were traveling and like seeing the world. So I was living the life of like, she's got the perfect life, but like on the inside, I was just very broken and hurt. And this community has been everything to help build me up and open my eyes to what personal and professional development can do for you, versus it being the self-help, which I thought it was years ago. So really this community has just helped me grown in so many ways that it flows over from just coaching. It's not just coaching. I take this with me to my nursing job, because nursing is a very negative environment these days. So any positivity that I can grab onto, I like let that help me get through my day. So these women, this growth has been everything. So that's a little bit about me. I'm going to pass the torch over to my girl, Ashley.
Hey, ladies. Hopefully everyone can hear. My internet has been like really wonky lately. So I'm Ashley, and I'm so excited that you guys are here. Yeah, I have been part of this team for, gosh, 4 years. And I kind of slowly just like creeped into the coaching aspect of it. I started, like Kristen was saying, she invited me to do a program with her at the top of 2018. And that just forever changed my life. I was very much like a wallflower when we first started. And it's just hard not to like gravitate around that fire, like Britt was saying. Like it takes like one person reaching out and like, commenting on something and encouraging you to just really, I craved that interaction. And so the more that I felt that, the more I leaned in. And eventually, probably like 9 months into my actual like health journey, I decided, you know what, as a nurse, this is super important. And I want to be able to share this with people away from the bedside and teach more of the prevention, which I'm sure Kristen can attest to this too. Often goes like overlooked when we are in these situations in the hospital, because as much as we try to teach patients about prevention, there's a lot of time constraints and rushing, and we never really get the chance to follow up and see if our patients really took something away from what we were teaching them. So I love that this is like a full circle really like journey together, because when Kristen invited me to do this, it wasn't just like, well, here's the programs and have a nice life. Like she really invited me in, and I had people who really cared about me. And so that's when I fell in love with coaching. Like I said, I've been doing this probably for now coaching about 3 years, and I recently just left the bedside, and I do this primarily as my main focus right now. And as Kristen was saying, it also has flowed over into other aspects of my life. It gave me the courage to take up writing, which has been a huge goal of mine, a huge dream of mine for a lot of my life. And I just, without this community, I know I wouldn't have the confidence and I guess like fire to go and chase those dreams that sometimes I think, they fall away and we just kind of forget about them. So that's a little bit about me. I think I'm ready for that slide. All right. So let's clear the air, guys. So I know the word coach, like Britt was saying, can often be a little bit intimidating, right? Because we look at people who were coaches in our lives and we think like, wow, they must be, experts on whatever it is that they're coaching us in, whether it's a sport or fitness or whatnot. But it's really different for us. We have the opportunity to first off coach ourselves and set that example for people that we're bringing along with us. And so we're not, fitness and nutrition experts. That's why we have all these amazing tools. We have our trainers, we have the nutrition programs. We're more of guides to lead people to those experts. We're not salespeople. We're not that guy on social. I know when I first started, that was a very, something that I was very worried about. Like, I didn't really know what I was doing. I had this fear that I was going to come off as this like icky salesperson, but as we go on, what we're sharing is our passion, and there's nothing icky about that, right? It would be no different if you were like, hey, I'm going to use a donut shop for example, because Kristen and I have went to a lot of donut shops in our travels, but it would be no different than me being like, hey, there's this fantastic donut shop down the road. It has like, I would 10 out of 10 recommend it. It has the best donuts that I've ever tasted. You should go there. Right? We don't feel icky when we're telling somebody else about something that we love or something that we've experienced that has impacted us in some way. And so it's actually really easy to get excited about it when you take that like salesy idea out of it. Again, we don't have, to be the perfect weight. We're all in this journey together. And I think that when we're first starting is actually such an amazing opportunity to really reach out to people to do this with you, because that you haven't had maybe like results yet or anything, people are really going to cling to doing this with you because they're curious, right? We don't need a certification or a degree. That's not what this is. Like I said, we're coaching ourselves first and leading by example and bringing people with us on this journey. So I know sometimes like we were saying, this label of coach kind of gets thrown around there. It can seem really intimidating, but when we really just focus on coaching ourselves and setting examples for other people, it makes it so much easier and it really fun to bring people along with us. So a couple other things on here, being extroverted. I'm a very introverted extrovert. Like social media was very hard for me to overcome when I first started this. And it does get easier. I think a lot of times too, that's one story that we tell ourselves when we're watching people on social media is they seem so bubbly and they must be an extrovert if they're sharing something with us. But it does challenge us to kind of step outside that comfort zone. But aside from showing up from that, it's not something that, we need to do 24/7 beyond sharing things about ourselves. So let's see, you don't have to have a big following on social. That's key. I don't have very many people, but what I found is to focus on the people who are showing up and following you, because they're the ones that matter. They're taking so much away from how we show up and how we're inspiring them. So if you only had 5 people, that's like 5 people to inspire and reach. And I always keep that in the back of my mind when I'm on social media. It's not all about numbers. It's about the impact that we have. More time, an empty schedule. That's another big thing, right? When I was working 12-hour shifts, I found a way to make it work. And it all started with coaching myself. There were times that I couldn't maybe get on my phone or do other things, but it started with either the very start of my day or the end of it to kind of decompress after a long shift of taking time to just move my body, take care of myself first. And then on my days off is when I really focused on working my business. And it wasn't long hours at the time either. My journey has definitely changed into this being my full-time job right now. But when I was working, I found little pockets and I found ways to share what I was doing, especially through all the busyness. And, like I said, when I was nursing, that was a very, very different from now. You definitely don't need to leave your 9 to 5 to be successful. There's so many people who are in this business who use this as a side hustle and an extra way to bless their families and have that extra money. So it's finding the time, I think, to make what we find important a priority for ourselves.
All right. So now that we know what coaching is not, coaching is actually rather simple. there's 3 parts to it. You're going to coach yourself, you're going to share that journey, and then you're going to inspire others without even knowing it. So if we look at the coaching yourself, it's kind of like the base foundation that you're laying. It's the habits of learning to push play on your workout, to drink your shake or your supplement every day. Are you reading a book for personal development? Like I talked about before, like growth with PD for me was huge. And we see that in so many of our women on the team. So what book are you reading to help yourself grow? And that's the base foundation to start by coaching yourself. Like, it's getting in your community and seeing that other people are doing it. If you don't have that motivation that day, find it from somebody else. We say all the time, borrow that belief from us until you have it for yourself. Borrow the motivation, borrow the inspiration, whatever you need to get yourself up and do the dang thing, because that is really where you're going to see the most success. You need to start with you. We have a saying here on Inspire Beauty that it starts with me. And it's very true, because if we aren't doing it, then we can't expect anybody else to be doing it either, right? So as we're coaching ourselves, we're sharing our journey. It's kind of like Ashley said, like, go to that donut shop that we just found. Like Brittany says all the time, like, if you find something on Amazon, you wouldn't hesitate to share that with a friend, right? No, you'd be like, here's the link, like, go buy it, right? So why would we not share this with other people so that they want to come to us too? Right? They want this for their life too. Like when I watched Brittany and I had actually connected when I was in California on an assignment. She worked at Orange Theory. I was going there to check out some classes. I followed her on Instagram. And when I was ready to like dive in, that's who I went to, because I had been watching her share her journey on Instagram. And I was like, whatever she's got, minus the community, I wanted it. So it's sharing your workout program. It's sharing your supplements, the growth that you're reading in your personal development. It's sharing when we have these team events and like what it looks like to be around that fire in your daily life. Like if you were to go to my story, like I've shared all the time about Steel, like anybody that knows my dog, like you see Steel almost on a daily basis. I like to share, lets people see that I am a nurse. Like if I have time during the day, I'll snap a picture of me and my scrubs, like, here's how today's going, or lunch outside, you know, to get away from the bedside and like decompress for 15 minutes. So it's sharing your journey, but also sharing who you are, because you are separate from what this company is. This is just a catalyst for you to live the life that you are living in a healthy way. And as you're doing that, you're just going to inspire other people. And you don't even know who you're going to inspire. You could be inspiring your kids that are watching you work out, Holly. You could be inspiring your husband or your boyfriend or wife. You could be inspiring your parents. It's been a joy to see this ripple effect from Ashley go into her family and see my aunt and uncle like working out and eating healthy and drinking the shakes with us and coming on trips with us. Like that has been such a gift. So you just never know who's going to be out there that is gonna come back to you and be like, Jen, what are you doing? Like, I want some of that too. Or maybe you are the nudge for them and you are saying, come do this with me. And this all wraps into why we love coaching. Like I said it before, the one thing that I didn't want that I love the most is this community. These have been some of my best friends that have come into my life in these last 5 years. So our journey is really our job. Like it's just doing the things to show up for ourselves and show our self-love and to be consistent with that and find that consistency. And that's within this community that you find that consistency. You see the other people showing up and you want to too. It's growth. Again, like grab that book for whatever you need to grow in and read that and learn from it and put it into action. There's only so much you can do by just reading. You know, applied knowledge is where it becomes powerful. The opportunity to travel and earn incentive rewards. This has been huge. I am somebody that is a reward lover. So every time that carrot is dangled, you bet that I will go for it. And it just depends on if that's something that you want to, but there's ways to earn trips just by helping people get healthy and you being healthy. Like, I don't know about you, but I don't have a job like that. And I'm in nursing. I'm in the healthcare field and they don't give me jack crap for being healthy. They just want me to show up and punch in and take care of everybody else. you get in the best shape. And that's not just physically, my friends, like this is mindset wise, this is nutrition wise, like everything that we put into our bodies in some way, whether we watch it, we hear it, whatever it is, like that shapes us and it makes us be a healthier person with healthy things and being surrounded by other healthy women. It can definitely help you earn that supplemental income. I right now have cut down to part-time nursing as of like a little over a year ago. So I have more time to work this because it is such a passion of mine and it's given me that opportunity to cut back my hours. The flexibility to choose when you work, where you work, and how hard you work. Again, it goes back to that dangling carrot. Like, are you somebody that wants the incentives and the rewards? Are you just going to like love the community and be a part of that? Like it is whatever you want it to be. Where you work, I'm going to like hone in on this here for a second because Ashley and I travel a lot. And like we started this journey when we were travel nurses. We've worked this business from cruise ships, from Europe and Bali. We've worked it from different cities. We've worked it on road trips. You can literally take it wherever you want to go with you. Knowing that the work that you do matters. This is crazy. And it's kind of, I had a little conversation with Britt about this today, but she shared with us how she had seen some of her students now graduate college and as a teacher. So when she started with them with like, as little babies, you know, and as a nurse, I don't always get to see that come full circle. When I was in ICU, some of those patients didn't make it out, unfortunately. And if they did, they brought us cookies and cupcakes. In the ER, I saw frequent flyers, we would call them. They would come back. So I knew that they weren't getting better, unfortunately. And that made me so sad that they just weren't taking care of themselves, or it was like far too late to like make any positive progress, you know? And now I see people like coming back for procedures and I can see maybe they're doing better, but not always. But as a coach, I get to see people progress. I get to see them make physical transformations. I get to see them grow in their mindset and help other people. Like I get to see that ripple effect. And that's like something near and dear to my heart. And this community, I don't know, y'all, I don't know what else I can say about it, but any chance I can get to be around the fire and see these women in person and hug them and squeeze them and laugh with them and do all the things, like I will make every effort to get there because they are important to me. They are special to me and they have helped change my life so much. And I know that this community can do that for others that come and sit around the fire with us too.
So good. And it's so true. Like so many people nowadays are like really, especially like post-pandemic and whatnot, like trying to really reevaluate, like, what does work look like for me? And am I valued in my work? Am I enjoying the work that I do? Do I feel like I'm making an impact? Do I have flexibility? Like that's a big deal. And while you might not come into this like for the full-time job at first, because maybe this is something to supplement, you never know where this could take you. You know, Kristen had no idea that this was eventually going to be something that she could pair part-time with nursing and cut back hours. I truly had no idea that I'd be able to walk away from the classroom and compensate with Beachbody income, and insert like Beachbody's income disclaimer here, because it is every own coach's like hard work, diligent skill that gets you there. This is not just because coaching is simple does not make it an easy street, right? And so there is work that goes into this. So I'm going to take the mic now and talk a little bit about the work, because this is like so laid on my heart lately. You know, when I came into this, one of the things that it was a buzzword that people threw around at the time, and I don't hear it as much anymore, but people would be like, oh, you joined a pyramid scheme. You know, you joined a pyramid scheme. And I'm like, I don't know. Did I? Like, I was like so confused. Like, did I join? I'm not sure. But network marketing and MLM, it's direct sales, right? It's not a pyramid scheme. A pyramid scheme means that you are taking somebody's money and there's no transaction of any sort of goods or service. You are a coach. Someone comes to you and says, I need support on my journey. You get a commission off of that, just like an Amazon affiliate gets a commission when you say, hey, buy these leggings that are on Amazon that I love, and then they get a kickback. You get a kickback from Beachbody. And then in turn, the most beautiful part about being a coach is once you get paid from somebody, that's when your job begins. You know, I think of other businesses out there, and I'm not slamming anybody, but I don't see how I could personally pair with certain businesses. Like, if it was like clothing or like makeup sorts of things, because for me, if someone needs to purchase leggings from me and then I give them the leggings, our business is done. And the coolest part about this is that when someone comes to me and they say, Brittany, I need help on my journey. And I say, okay, let's get you started. Let's get you this, let's get you this, let's get you this. And then they say yes, they swipe their card, they get their stuff. That's when I get to go to work, and it's so rewarding. Like, it's so rewarding to see the ripple effect of you showing up on your journey and how that inspires somebody else to say yes to their journey. And then you get to walk hand in hand with them, right? And help them pick them back up when they fall down, and they do the same for you. So if you're willing to work consistently, my friends, and consistently is the key, right? If you only went to college some of the days, you probably wouldn't have got the degree, right? If you only go to work when you feel like it, your boss would probably fire you. This is no different. You have to work consistently. But the best part is it's at becoming your best self. Truly, you are doing the work of, I'm showing up every day and taking care of me. Okay. If you can dream big, even if that looks right now like you're like, I don't even know what my dreams are. Can you for 1 second just like maybe take a trust fall that we're going to help navigate like what big dreams might actually be laid on your heart that you don't even know are there? Are you willing to take action towards those dreams? Lean into this community that will help you along the way. If you're coachable, if you'll try new things, even with sweaty palms and a heart racing, right? If you'll get back up when you fall down, this is for you. This is for you. Because this is how I see it. Worst case scenario, truly, listen to me, hear me out. I think about it all the time. If you enrolled as a coach, if you became a coach, you would move your body more. Because trust me, when I started my journey, I was a yo-yo dieter. I was the person that got on the treadmill to punish myself for what I ate the night before. And I was on again, off again in my relationship with health. And when I became a coach, all of a sudden I realized this kept me accountable to my own journey like nothing else did. Why? People were watching me and I had a community counting on me. So if you move, worst case, you're going to move your body more. And I promise you, you'll be mindful of what you consume, whether it's with your mouth, like Kristen said, what you're watching, what you're listening to, who you're surrounding yourself with, which brings me to the second one. Worst case scenario. You get on calls like these with us and you surround yourself with positive community. We have book clubs, we have meetups, we have sweat dates, we have a win the morning Zoom. We have so many opportunities for you to surround yourself with this positive community. Worst case scenario, you level up and you learn some new skills. To me, that's the worst case. Best case scenario, you radically transform your life and the lives of the people you love most. That's the best case scenario, right? So to me, my friends, the only failure is never trying. You know what I'm saying? And I think if you're on this call, if you're even taking the time to listen to the replay of this call, there is something on your heart that's like, I wonder if I could do it. And that flutter, if that dream is right there on your heart, I believe it's planted there for a purpose. And for me, if I don't listen to that thing that's planted on my heart, that's when I get eaten alive. That's when I have like the things like regret and like feeling like I'm not living out my purpose. Like when I said I was in the classroom and I just didn't feel like this was fulfilling me. It's because I had something else on my heart that was bigger than what I was doing with my life at that time. So what do you have to lose, my friends? So your next steps, we're going to wrap this up here tonight together. Next steps, when you get off this call, if you're done listening to the replay, connect with the person who invited you. Yeah. Tell them what spoke to you. What story stood out to you? Who did you connect with? Was there something somebody said that you're like, aha, that was my fear too. Or that was I was worried about that, but I'm glad she said that because that was actually the thing that was kind of stopping me. Be honest, right? But then also, let's not play worst case scenario game because I know we do that really well. Trust and believe, I know we do that so well. I want you to play the best case scenario. What's the best case scenario if today you just said, you know what, I'm going to just rip the Band-Aid. I'm going to try. I'm going to go after this because I see this person on social media inspiring me and there's a piece of their life that I'm like, I think I could do that too. So what's your best case scenario? Together, you guys can decide the best way to upgrade okay? Because everybody's in a different place in their journey, and maybe you just started recently, or maybe you started, maybe you haven't started your journey yet. So we can decide the best way to get you into coaching community. If you're not a part of the FIT community, of course, that's where we're going to start. And we want you to start and continue showing up for you. Yeah. And then here's your challenge. Start sharing your journey on social media before you even dive in, right? Share a clip of your workout move tomorrow. Share you making your energize in the morning. Share a little snippet of a quote that stood out to you that really inspired you today, right? Start being inspirational for other people. You're going to be so surprised that actually there's not as many ugly people on the internet as we think. There's actually a lot of people on the internet that are like going to be so appreciative of your breath of fresh air of what you post. And then we have a new coach mentorship. It's ongoing. It's so amazing. And we've got new people onboarding for the summer that we're going to help you. We're going to get to our handbook in your hands so that you can get started right and make sure that we set you up with some new coach calls and things like that. But really, if this call spoke to you, if you're on this call with us tonight, I know in my heart that you're meant to be here. So go chat with your coach when we get off. Decide together your next best steps. Be honest, share some of the pieces where maybe you feel a little nervous so that they can, talk you off the cliff and everything. But I'm just really excited. I'm sure the other ladies agree to welcome all of these new faces into our community this summer. I just have a feeling this is going to be a huge summer for our team. So you are diving in right at the right time. Ladies, do you have anything else as we wrap up?
I don't think so.
Yay.
Yeah, I think we covered it.
Yeah.